Hey, ever wonder what it's like to be the guy who pays all the bills while his girlfriend mentally auditions for The Bachelorette? Spoiler, it's me. Hi, I'm Jake, 28, software dev by day, accidental sugar daddy by, well, life apparently. I've got a decent gig debugging code for a startup in Raleigh, a fixer-upper house I bought cheap off a foreclosure list, and Mia, my girlfriend of 2 years, who's basically Instagram bait with legs. Met her at my buddy Dan's barbecue back in 23. She showed up in this sundress that hugged her like it was custom made, flipping her hair and cracking jokes about Dan's charred hot dogs. I was hooked the second she laughed at my dumb quip about pineapple on pizza. That laugh, high-pitched, a little wild, hit me like a shot of whiskey on an empty stomach. 2 beers later, she's leaning on my arm, teasing me about my sad cooking skills. "You ever burn water, Jake?" she said, smirking. I grinned like an idiot. "Only when I'm distracted by pretty girls." Smooth? Nope. But she ate it up, and I felt like I'd won the damn lottery. Fast forward a bit, and we're a thing. Those early days were gold. We'd hit up dive bars on Fridays, her sipping some overpriced cocktail while I nursed a Bud Light, talking about nothing and everything. She'd drag me to flea markets on weekends, haggling over chipped mugs like she was on a mission, then plop down on my beat-up couch with takeout, legs slung over mine, laughing at my terrible Parks and Rec impressions. "You're no Ron Swanson," she'd say, tossing a fry at me. I'd catch it in my mouth, or try to, and she'd clap like I'd just pulled off a circus trick. Back then, she made me feel like the center of her world, you know? Like I wasn't just some average dude with a mortgage and a receding hairline I pretend isn't happening. About a year ago, I asked her to move in. Seemed like the next step, right? She was crashing at her folks' place, complaining about her mom's naggy texts, and I had this extra room collecting dust. Plus, I liked the idea of us building something. Me and her, a team. She said yes, faster than you can say free rent, hauling in her plants and clothes and a million hair products that now clog my bathroom sink. I didn't mind picking up the tab for everything: mortgage, utilities, groceries, even her stupid oat milk lattes from Starbucks that cost more than my lunch. "She's figuring out her career," she said, bouncing between retail gigs and some vague online course about graphic design. I figured I'd be the supportive boyfriend, hold down the fort while she got her shit together. "We're in this together," I told her once, handing her a coffee I'd grabbed on my way home. She kissed my cheek and muttered, "You're the best, babe." I believed it. But lately? Man, lately's been a different story. It's not like she flipped a switch and turned into a stranger overnight. Nah, it's sneakier than that. Little stuff at first, like I'd get home from work, feet dragging after staring at code for 10 hours, and she's already gone. Girls' night, she'd text. No heads up. No invite to tag along. I'd shrug it off, heat up some leftovers, usually the lasagna I made for us that she didn't touch, and scroll Reddit till my eyes burned. I'm not her parole officer, I'd tell myself, cracking a beer. She's allowed to have fun. I'm just the schmuck keeping the lights on. Funny how you can laugh at yourself and still feel like crap about it. Then there's the fridge situation. I stock it with her picky-ass snacks. Those tiny yogurts with the French names kombucha she swears she'll drink but never does. And half the time they just sit there till I eat them myself. Last week I caught her sneaking in at midnight, heels clicking on the hardwood, and she barely looked at me. "Hey, long day," I said, trying to sound chill. She yawned, phone glowing in her hand. "Yeah, super tired, night." No hug, no "how was your day?" Just her disappearing into the bedroom while I sat there with a plate of cold chicken, wondering why I bothered asking. It's not like we're fighting either. That'd be easier, yelling, slamming doors, something to grab onto. Instead, it's this slow drip of nothing. She's out more than she's in, and when she's around, she's glued to her phone, giggling at stuff she doesn't share. I asked once, casual as hell, "Huh?" "What's so funny?" She rolled her eyes like I'd accused her of treason. "Just TikTok, Jake. Don't make it weird." Didn't feel weird to want in on the joke, but whatever, I let it slide. I've been letting a lot slide, actually. Like how she's got these new earrings, dangly gold ones I didn't buy, and when I said they looked nice, she just smirked and muttered, "Thanks. Got them somewhere." Somewhere. Cool. Real specific. Tonight's what's got me twisted, though. I got home around 8, arms full of grocery bags, bread, her dumb yogurt, a 6-pack for me, and the house was dark. Not a light on, not a sound, just my keys rattling in the silence. I dropped the bags on the counter, checked my phone. One text from Mia, sent an hour ago. Out late, don't wait up. No sorry, no see you later, just that. I stood there, staring at the screen, the fridge humming behind me like it's mocking my sorry ass. The living room stretched out empty, couch still dented from where we used to crash together, her plants wilting 'cause she forgets to water them. I popped a beer, sank into the cushions, and just sat there. Maybe I'm imagining it, but it's starting to feel like I'm furniture in my own damn house. Like I'm the lamp she turns on when it's convenient, then forgets about when the party's somewhere else. I took a swig, the cold fizz hitting my throat, and thought, nah, she's just busy, I'm overthinking it. But the quiet's loud tonight, and my gut's telling me something I don't want to hear yet, so after that night with the dark house and the beer that didn't quite drown the quiet, I told myself I'd chill out. Mia's busy, I'm busy, life's busy. Nobody's got time to overanalyze a 3-word text, right? Don't wait up isn't a breakup letter, it's just efficient. That's what I kept muttering as I dragged myself to bed, the sheets cold on her side, her pillow still puffed up like she hadn't slept there in days. I woke up Saturday figuring I'd see her sprawled on the couch, hogging the remote like old times. Nope, just a sticky note on the fridge, out with the crew, TTIL. I snorted, peeling it off. Cool. Guess I'll bond with the couch cushions again. Maybe teach him to play Call of Duty. I flopped down, controller in hand, and shot virtual bad guys till my thumbs ached. But the house still felt too big, too empty. She didn't even leave a coffee mug in the sink. Usually there's at least that. Some sign she's still part of this place. By noon, I'm scrolling X, half laughing at memes, half wondering where the crew hangs out these days. She used to drag me along back when her friends thought I was funny, not just the guy who pays the Wi-Fi bill. Now it's like I'm out of the group chat, literally and figuratively. I shot her a text, keeping it light, having fun out there. No reply, not even a read notification. I tossed the phone on the coffee table, watched it skid into a pile of coasters she picked out last summer. Whatever, I mumbled, cracking my knuckles. She's living her best life. Good for her. But it didn't feel good. It felt like I was auditioning for a role I'd already lost. She's been weird all week, though. That phone of hers, it's practically surgically attached to her hand now. I'll be on the couch trying to unwind with some YouTube, and she's over there giggling at texts she won't show me. Last night I leaned over all casual and said, "What's so funny? Cat video?" She jerked the screen away like I'd caught her robbing a bank. "God, Jake, it's just memes, chill." Her voice had that edge, the one that says back off without saying it. I raised my hands, grinning like it didn't sting. "All right, meme queen, didn't mean to crash your comedy club." She didn't laugh, just kept tapping away, her nails clicking on the glass. I sat there, staring at the TV, some guy droning about car mods, and wondered when asking about her day turned into a federal offense. I figured I'd try harder, you know? Be the good boyfriend, bridge the gap. Thursday night, I swung by the store after work, grabbed stuff for her favorite pasta, spaghetti with that spicy marinara she loves. Got home, rolled up my sleeves, even lit a couple candles I found in a drawer. They were half melted, probably from some power outage date night way back, but I stuck them on the table anyway. Sauce simmering, kitchen smelling like an Italian grandma's dream. I texted her, "Dinner's on, you in?" She didn't answer, but I heard her car pull up around 9. Door creaked open, and there she was. Hair tossed, new jacket I didn't recognize. Those gold earrings glinting under the hall light. "Hey," I called, stirring the pot. "Made your fave." She kicked off her sneakers, barely glanced over. "Oh, nice." I'm beat, though. Dropped her bag, shuffled to the table, and poked at the plate I set out, like she was doing me a favor by sitting there. I slid into the chair across from her, trying to keep it light. "Rough day with the crew?" She twirled a noodle, shrugged. "Just stuff, you know." Didn't look up, didn't ask about my day. The candles flickered, wax dripping onto the scratched-up wood, and I watched her chew like it was a chore. "Good," I said, nodding at the plate. She swallowed, gave a half smile. "Yeah, it's fine. I'm just exhausted." 5 minutes later, she's pushing it aside, half the spaghetti still there, sauce congealing, and standing up. "Gonna crash," she muttered, grabbing her phone. I sat there, fork in hand, as her socks padded down the hall. "Night," I called after her. No answer. Just the bedroom door clicking shut. I stared at the candles, their tiny flames mocking me, then blew 'em out. Smoke curled up, bitter in my nose. "Guess I'm a Michelin star chef for an audience of crickets," I said to the empty room, scraping her plate into the trash. "Maybe I should pitch this to Netflix. One-Sided Love, the cooking show." It's not just the pasta flop either. She's been rocking these new outfits lately. Heels I've never seen, that jacket with the fancy stitching. Last weekend, she strutted out in them all, "I'll be back late," and I just nodded like a dope. "Looking sharp," I said, fishing for something, anything. She smirked, adjusting an earring. "Thanks. Gotta keep up, right?" Keep up with what? Who? I didn't ask. Figured I'd sound paranoid. But now I'm sitting here, replaying it, and it's like, either she's secretly a fashion influencer or I'm funding someone else's date night. I laughed at that out loud alone, like a lunatic, because it's ridiculous, right? She wouldn't. We're solid. 2 years don't just vanish over some heels and a smirk. Still, tonight's got me rattled. I'm on the couch, picking at a bag of chips, when I hear her voice drift from the bedroom. She's on the phone. Door cracked just enough for the sound to slip out. I lean closer, not proud of it, but my gut's churning, and catch her giggling. "Yeah, he's sweet, but you know how it is," she says, all soft and conspiratorial, like she's letting someone in on a secret. My chest tightens. Sweet, but what? How it is with who? I freeze, chip halfway to my mouth, waiting for more, but she drops her voice and all I get is muffled laughs. Door shuts a second later and I'm left there, crumbs on my shirt, staring at the wall. "Am I the clingy one here?" I mutter, brushing off my hands. I mean, I'm not texting her "where you at" every 5 minutes, but this feels off. I grab my beer, take a swig, and tell myself it's nothing. Just girl talk. Just Mia being Mia. But that giggle's stuck in my head, and it's not the one she used to save for me. That giggle from the other night stuck to me like gum on a shoe. I couldn't shake it. Kept hearing it loop in my head while I debugged code at work. Her voice all soft and sneaky. "Yeah, he's sweet, but you know how it is." Sweet, but what? How it is with who? I tried brushing it off, told myself I was turning into one of those paranoid dudes who sniff their girlfriend's phone like a bloodhound, but by Friday I'd had enough of my own bullshit. Mia was actually home for once, miracle of miracles, so I figured I'd play it cool, test the waters, see if I was just losing my marbles. I swung by the Thai place she likes, grabbed some pad see ew and spring rolls, and hauled it back to the house. She was on the couch when I walked in, legs tucked under her, scrolling TikTok with that damn phone glowing in her face. "Hey," I said, kicking the door shut behind me, arms full of greasy bags. "Brought dinner, movie night?" She glanced up, gave a half smile. Sweet. Sure, why not? Not exactly a parade of enthusiasm, but I'd take it. I dumped the takeout on the coffee table, grabbed some paper plates from the kitchen and flipped on the TV. Found some random action flick on Netflix. Explosions, bad one-liners, the kind of crap we used to laugh at together. She scooted over, popped open the pad C ew, and we dug in, the couch creaking under us. For a minute it felt normal. Her stealing a spring roll off my plate, me pretending to swat her hand away. "Thief," I muttered, grinning. She smirked, chewing. "You love it." Maybe I did. Maybe I wanted to believe we were still us, but that phone call was gnawing at me and I couldn't let it sit. Halfway through the movie, some dude on screen was yapping about loyalty to his crew, and I saw my shot. I stretched all casual and said, "Loyalty's big, huh? Kinda rare these days." She didn't bite, just nodded, eyes on her fork. I pushed a little. "You think it's still a thing? Like sticking with someone through the mess?" She snorted, tossing her hair back, that gold earring catching the light. "Babe, you're cute, but let's be real, I could swap you out any day. Guys, line up for this." Then she smirked, this smug little twist of her lips, like she'd just dropped the funniest zinger of the night. I froze, chopsticks halfway to my mouth, noodles dangling like my dignity. My gut twisted hard, like someone punched me with a brick wrapped in her words. "What?" I said, voice low, hoping I'd heard wrong. She laughed, light and sharp, and leaned back. "Oh, come on, Jake. I'm kidding, but like, kinda." "Don't freak out, it's just facts." "Facts." I set the plate down slow, hands shaking a little, and turned to her. "You serious right now?" Her smirk didn't budge. She shrugged, picking at her food. "I mean, yeah, sorta. Guys hit on me all the time. It's not a big deal." "Not a big deal." I just stared at her. the TV blaring some car chase in the background, and felt my throat tighten. "So I'm what, just one of the lineup?" I said, trying to keep it steady, but it came out rough. She rolled her eyes, tossing the takeout box on the table. "God, don't be so dramatic. You're fine." "I'm here, aren't I? Fine, here." Like that was some grand prize I should be grateful for. I didn't say squat after that, just nodded, grabbed my beer and chugged it, the cold fizz burning my chest. She went back to her phone, giggling at something else, and I sat there, the spring rolls turning to glue in my stomach, thinking, guess I'm not the MVP of her team after all. Sleep didn't come easy that night. I kept replaying that smirk, those words, "swap you out any day," like a bad song on repeat. By morning, I was a zombie, shuffling through coffee and toast when my phone buzzed. Text from Tina, my buddy Dan's girlfriend. "Dude, Mia's been flirting with some guy at trivia night, thought you should know." I stared at it, coffee mug warm in my hands, and felt my pulse kick up. Trivia night. That's her girls' night spot. Our old haunt, the dive bar with the sticky floors and cheap IPA. "Thanks," I texted back, fingers clumsy. "Appreciate it," Tina shot back. "You okay?" I didn't answer, just grabbed my keys, pulled on a hoodie, and headed out. Didn't tell Mia. Didn't need to. She was out with the crew again, per her text an hour ago. I drove to the bar, parked a block away, and walked up slow, hood up like some wannabe detective. Didn't want her to spot me. Didn't want to be right. But there she was. Through the window, under the buzzing neon sign, Mia was perched at a high-top table, leaning into some slick dude in a blazer, hair gelled, teeth too white, the kind of guy who calls you bro while stealing your life. She laughed, loud and bright, the way she used to laugh with me, her hand brushing his arm like it was nothing. He leaned in, said something, and she tossed her hair back, those earrings glinting again. My chest caved in. I stood there like an idiot, heart pounding against my ribs, hands shoved in my pockets, thinking, this is it. I'm the backup plan. The street was cold, wind biting through my hoodie, but I couldn't move. Just watched her light up for him, all the spark she'd drained out of us. Part of me wanted to storm in, flip the table, key his car on the way out, something loud and stupid to match how loud it hurt, but I didn't. I pulled out my phone, hands shaking, and snapped a shitty photo through the glass. Blurry but clear enough. Her leaning in, him grinning, me on the outside looking in. I turned around, walked back to my car, the gravel crunching under my sneakers, slid into the driver's seat, slammed the door, and just sat there, staring at the dashboard. Well, shit, I muttered, laughing a little, a dry, bitter sound that didn't feel like mine. Guess that's that. The photo glowed on my screen when I checked it, her face all smug and happy, and I gripped the steering wheel till my knuckles went white. Not gonna lie, I wanted to scream, cry, throw something, but I just drove home, the radio off. The silence screaming louder than I ever could. She'd said it herself, swap me out any day, and there she was, proving it. I wasn't imagining Jack. That smirk, that laugh, that guy. They lit a fire under me, and I was done playing clueless. Whatever came next, I wasn't letting her play me like this anymore. Driving home from that bar, with Mia's blurry photo searing my phone screen, I felt like I'd been hit by a truck, then handed the keys to drive it. Sleep was a joke that night. I paced the house like a caged animal, replaying her smirk, those words, swap you out any day, and that slick dude's grin through the window. My sneakers squeaked on the hardwood back and forth, kitchen to couch, couch to kitchen, the fridge humming like it was laughing at me. Replaceable? Fine. Let's see how she likes replacing her free ride. By sunrise, I was done stewing. I grabbed my laptop, logged into my bank app, and canceled the autopay for her car insurance. Click. Gone. Just like that. Then I hit the fridge, yanking out her fancy oat milk, those truffle chips she nibbled once and forgot, that half-empty kombucha bottle stinking up the shelf. Bon appetit. Couch cushions, I muttered, chucking it all in the trash, the bag clinking with every toss. You're my new VIPs. I stood there, hands on my hips, staring at the empty shelves, and laughed. Short, sharp, a little unhinged. It wasn't much, but it was a start. Work that day was a blur. Lines of code swimming on my screen. Coffee going cold in my mug. I kept flexing my fingers, itching to do more, to shake off the weight of her facts. By the time I got home, the house was quiet. But I could hear her car rumbling in the driveway not long after. Door slammed open, and there's Mia, storming in, waving a piece of mail like it's a battle flag. "What the hell, Jake?" she snapped, shoving the insurance notice in my face. "This didn't go through. What'd you do?" I leaned against the counter, arms crossed, and kept my voice flat. "Oh, didn't I mention? I'm not your ATM anymore." Her eyes went wide, then narrow, that gold earring swinging as she stepped closer. "Are you serious? You canceled it without even telling me?" I shrugged, casual as hell, though my pulse was hammering. "Figured you'd notice when the bill hit." "You're a big girl, Mia. Sort it out." She threw the paper on the counter, hands flying to her hips. "You're punishing me for having a life? That's what this is?" Her voice climbed, shrill and pissed, like I'd torched her wardrobe instead of cut a payment. I could have danced around it, let her spin her crap, but that photo was burning a hole in my pocket. I pulled out my phone, tapped the screen, and held it up. Her and Blazer guy, cozy as hell, frozen in that shitty bar light. "Nah," I said, locking eyes with her. "I'm punishing you for thinking I'm too dumb to notice this." Her face went slack for a split second, mouth parting like she'd been caught mid-lie. Then she rallied, crossing her arms. "What's that supposed to mean?" "It's just a picture, Jake." "You're paranoid." I snorted, shoving the phone back in my pocket. "Paranoid? That's you laughing with some dude who ain't me, Mia. Don't play stupid." "It doesn't suit you." She flipped, then full-on flipped. "Oh my God, you're such a child," she yelled, pacing now, heels clicking like gunfire. "I can't have friends? I can't hang out without you losing it?" I stepped forward, voice low but cutting. "Friends don't lean in like that. Friends don't make you giggle like I'm not even here." "You said I'm replaceable." "Looks like you're already shopping." Her eyes flashed, but she didn't deny it, just glared, chest heaving. Then the tears came, fast and loud like she'd flipped a switch. "You're twisting this," she choked, swiping at her face. "I didn't mean it like that. I was joking. You're blowing everything up over nothing." I didn't budge, just watched her sob, arms crossed. "Nothing. Huh? Tell that to the guy you're testing the waters with while I pay your bills." She stopped pacing, tears still streaking, and pointed at me. "You'll miss me when I'm gone, Jake. You'll see." Her voice cracked, but there was venom in it, like she was daring me to flinch. I didn't. I stepped closer, calm as hell, and said, "Doubt it? Pack your crap and test that guy's lining up theory. Doors that way." Her jaw dropped, eyes darting like she was waiting for me to crack, to beg her to stay. I didn't. "You can't just kick me out," she sputtered, voice climbing again. "I live here." I tilted my head, smirking. "Just a little, couldn't help it. My house, my rules. You've been living off me long enough. Time to upgrade to Blazer guy. Hope he likes funding your oat milk habit." She stood there, fists clenched, then spun around, storming to the bedroom. I heard drawers slamming, her muttering curses under her breath. Asshole, unbelievable, the works. I stayed put, leaning on the counter, the trash fridge stuff still stinking up the kitchen. She came back 10 minutes later, dragging a duffel bag, her face red and blotchy. "You're gonna regret this," she hissed, yanking her keys off the hook. "You're throwing away the best thing you ever had." I laughed. A real one this time, sharp and cold. "Best thing? Mia, you've been treating me like a rent check with a pulse. Take your lineup and go." She froze, bag slung over her shoulder, then huffed and bolted out, door banging shut so hard the walls rattled. Silence hit, heavy and thick, and I slid down to the floor, back against the cabinet, staring at the ceiling. Kicking her out didn't fix the hole in my chest. 2 years don't vanish with a slammed door, but damn, it felt good to stop being her doormat. I grabbed a beer from the fridge, popped it open, and took a long pull, the cold hitting my throat like a reset. The house was mine again, quiet, messy, real. I pulled up that photo one more time, her leaning into him, and deleted it. Didn't need it anymore. She'd made her play and I'd made mine. I wasn't her fallback guy, not tonight, not ever again. But something told me she wasn't done. Girls like Mia don't fade quiet. I leaned my head back, smirking to myself. "Bring it on," I muttered, and took another sip. After Mia stormed out with her duffel bag and that door banged shut, the house felt like it took a deep breath. I spent the next few days cleaning up her mess, literally. Picked her wilted plants off the windowsill, tossed them in the dumpster out back, and scrubbed the bathroom sink free of her glittery hair crap. The place smelled like pine cleaner and freedom, and I wasn't mad about it. Work kept me busy. Debugging code's a hell of a distraction when you're trying not to picture your ex cozying up to Blazer Guy. I didn't hear from her, didn't check her Insta, just kept my head down and let the dust settle. Tina texted once, asking how I was holding up. Better than expected, I shot back. And it wasn't a lie. That hole in my chest was still there, sure, but it wasn't bleeding anymore. It was just sore. Like a bruise you forget about till you bump it. About 3 weeks later, I'm kicking back with a beer and some leftover pizza, half watching a Parks and Rec rerun, when I hear shouting outside. At first, I figure it's the neighbors. Those guys argue about their dogs barking like it's a blood sport. But then I catch Mia's voice, high and shrill, cutting through the night. "Jake, get out here," she's yelling. And there's a chorus of other voices chiming in, loud and sloppy. I mute the TV, heart kicking up a gear, and crack the blinds. There she is, on my porch. Hair wild, flanked by 3 of her crew. 2 girls I vaguely recognize and some dude with a man bun who looks like he's auditioning for a vape ad. She's pounding on the door now, screaming, "I'm pregnant, Jake, it's yours!" Her friends pile on. One chick yells, "You're trash for ditching her," while man bun adds, "Bro, you're messed up." I blink, beer halfway to my mouth, and mutter, "Well, this is new." I set the bottle down, pull on a hoodie, and step outside, the porch light buzzing overhead. Mia's eyes are red, mascara streaking, but that smirk's nowhere in sight, just pure, wild desperation. Her crew's glaring like I'm the devil in sweatpants. "What's this about?" I say, leaning on the doorframe, keeping it cool. She jabs a finger at me. "You heard me, I'm pregnant, and it's yours. You can't just walk away from this." Her voice cracks, but it's loud, like she's playing to the cheap seats. Her friends nod, crossing their arms. "Yeah, man, own up," one says, flipping her hair. I tilt my head, squinting at Mia. "Cool story. Got a test to back it up?" She freezes, mouth twitching, and I see the wheels spinning. I just found out," she stammers, swiping at her nose. "I haven't had time to—" I cut her off, shrugging. "Right, so no proof." That's what I thought. Bye. Her crew erupts. Man bun steps up, puffing his chest. "You calling her a liar, bro?" That's low. The other girl chimes in. "She's freaking out and you're just standing there?" I don't flinch, just look at Mia, who's trembling now, eyes darting between me and her posse. "If it's real, we'll talk," I say, voice flat. "Show me a test, a doctor's note, something. Till then, I'm not buying this soap opera." She opens her mouth, closes it, then snaps, "Why can't you just trust me after everything?" I laugh, short, dry, and it shuts them up for a sec. "Trust you? Mia, you swapped me out while I paid your bills. Take your squad and go." They huff and curse, but she's crumbling, tears spilling, hands shaking. "You're a jerk," she mutters, turning away. Her crew follows, tossing asshole over their shoulders as they stumble off into the dark. I shut the door, lock it, and slump onto the couch. The pizza cold now. Pregnant? Nah, that smelled like bullshit a mile off. Sure enough, Tina called the next day, voice low like she's spilling state secrets. "Jake." "She's lying," she said. "Blazer guy. His name's Chad, by the way. Dumped her last week. She's been crashing on couches telling everyone you're the bad guy. That baby thing's fake, just to mess with you." I snorted, stirring my coffee. "Figures. Chad, huh? Poor bastard." Tina laughed. "You good?" I leaned back, staring at the ceiling. "Yeah, I'm not her circus anymore." Hung up, blocked me on everything, phone, Insta, even Venmo, where she still owed me $20 from last year. Done. Over. Circus closed. Life got quiet after that, but good quiet. Work was steady, and I started grabbing lunch with Sarah, this coworker who's been around forever, but I never really noticed till now. She's real short hair, quick laugh, doesn't treat me like a human wallet. Last Friday, we split takeout in the break room, trading bad puns over egg rolls. "What's a coder's favorite drink?" she said, grinning. "Bug juice," I fired back, and she cackled like it was gold. We've been texting since. Nothing big, just dumb stuff like "Is it too early for beer?" and "Save me from this meeting." It's easy, light, the kind of thing I forgot I could have. Meanwhile, Tina says Mia's spiraling, jobless, bouncing between friends' places. Her lineup, nowhere in sight. Oh. I don't gloat. She dug her hole. I'm just glad I climbed out of mine. Sitting here now, beer in hand, I think back on it all. Was I an idiot for loving her? Maybe. 2 years, a house full of her crap, and I didn't see the signs, or didn't want to. That smirk, that bar, her fake tears, they stung, sure, but they woke me up. I'm not the guy who settles for scraps anymore. Sarah texted me 10 minutes ago, "Pizza tonight?" And I'm grinning like a dope, typing back, "Only if you bring the puns." Mia's out there, chasing whatever, but me, I'm good. Here's to cold beers and better days, ones I don't have to share with someone who'd swap me out for a Chad in a blazer. Cheers to that.